Photoshop is a very advanced photo editing application, but I'm just going to show you a few of the basics today to help you create an image. Now, when working with Photoshop, Photoshop works with what's called layers. As you can see here, these are my two different layers, which at present comprise of two photos. I have a background photo, which I've just unlocked so I can edit it. I will hide that and then show that again. And I have another layer on top here, which again I can hide that and show that. Now with layers, you can move them around. So if I move this photo beneath layer 0, the landscape, you'll see you can no longer see that photo because it's underneath this picture. If I put it on top, you can see this photo, but as the sides are transparent, because the photo's not quite as wide, you can still see that image behind. The first tool I'm going to show you is the crop tool, which is this tool here. Now the crop tool allows you to crop your photo like so. Now one thing this is really handy for is if you change the ratio up here, you can change that to 16:9, which is what the majority of video is shot in. So if you're creating a thumbnail for your video or perhaps some graphics for your video, it's best to crop it to 16:9. As you see, that's locked the aspect ratio, so it's always going to stay in 16:9. So I'm just going to crop my image to an area that would fit video or work as a video thumbnail, and then press return to confirm that. Now I'm also going to show you how to cut out an image. With this layer selected, I'm going to use the quick select tool, which is just up here. So the quick selection tool, you can make the brush larger by pressing close square bracket or smaller by pressing open square bracket. If I just select my sun like so, if you've selected too much of an area you don't want, you can hold down the Alt key and click again to deselect an area. Once you're happy with your selection, you can then go to Refine Edge. And what that allows you to do, if you just quickly go around the edge, that redraws any edges. Let me just move this out of the way. So areas such as hair. And what you can do is you can change the view so you can see it against different types of background to check that you're happy with the selection. So I'm happy with my selection. I'm going to output that to a new layer. So my new selection is going to be a new layer in its own right. And what that's also done is it's by default hidden the previous layer. I can activate that again to compare. I'm going to move that away. Now going back up to the move tool, I'm just going to move that picture over there, like so. Now there's a bit of a funny area over here, and that's because there is actually an object, as you can see in the original, coming into shot there. So I'm just going to move my sun up slightly. And what I might do is actually rescale this image. So if I go to Edit, and then go to Free Transform, I can then transform the size of the image. Now, to make sure I don't stretch the image or squash the image, if I hold down Shift while I do this, it'll retain the image proportions like so. What I can also do, I can rotate the image. If I hover around the corner like so, there we go. I press return to confirm that. Now I just want to get rid of that section down there. So what you can do is you can just simply use the eraser, and that'll delete this section here. Again, I'm using closed square brackets to make that slightly larger. There we go. As you can see, it's only erasing that image because I've got that layer selected. If I selected layer 0, the background, it would delete the background over there like so. Now, one other thing you can do that's quite interesting is using the spot healing brush tool. If I select that, you can delete unwanted areas from things. So with this layer selected, I don't want this little barge down here. I assume it's a barge. It could be a raft. If I delete that like so, you'll see it's drawn over it with water. I'm going to zoom in using Command+. As you can see, that's completely disappeared now. And perhaps I don't like this farm over here. There we go. That's gone as well. And while we're at it, let's just remove this bridge altogether. Why not? Yeah, it's not 100%, but there we go. I'm going to add some text. If I use the text tool down here, I can click anywhere on the picture and that creates a new layer. I'm just going to select that text, and to alter your text, if you go to Window, Character, that brings up the character window. Alternatively, you can click on the character symbol here. I'm just going to increase the font size, and I'm going to change the color as well. There we go. Another way of increasing the font, if you hold down the left mouse button and slide that variable like so. So now we're going to adjust the brightness and contrast on one of the layers. If we go to adjustments here, you've got a number of adjustments you can do, including brightness and contrast, levels, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue and saturation, etc., etc. I'm just going to do brightness and contrast for now. You'll see if I change the brightness, that's changing it for the entire image. If I want to only affect the layer directly beneath it, if I do Command-Alt-G, then you'll see it only affects the brightness of the layer directly beneath it, which in this case is my child's face there. So let me just take the brightness down a little bit and increase the contrast. Like so, just so it looks a little bit more fitting with the rest of the image. Once you're happy with your edit, make sure you save the image as a JPEG or a PNG. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save my document as a PNG.